If you're adventurous in a let's go check out deserted places and relive their memories kind of way, well, then you're in the right place because these are the top 10 strange and surreal abandoned places. 10. BODIE Ghost Town, California, USA. BODIE was founded by prospectors drawn by the California gold rush in the middle of the 1800s. It quickly developed into a thriving mining town with money-hungry men, saloon shootouts, and barroom fights. But its good fortune was fleeting. By the 1890s, the population had begun to decline as other gold discoveries had attracted the masses. In the 1960s, this abandoned town, now frozen in time, became a national historic landmark. Today, visitors, not miners, come here in droves to wander the desolate streets and take in the town's slow demise. 9. VAROSHA, Cyprus. Time stopped in 1974 for the abandoned VAROSHA district in Famagusta City, creating an urban museum of rusted antique autos, crumbling high-rise hotels, and storefronts displaying the newest in 1970s fashion. Following the Turkish invasion of Cyprus, the people of VAROSHA were compelled to live in exile. People can only look through barbed wire today, as nature has taken over the structures that were once a favorite hangout for the wealthy and famous. 8. RYUGYONG Hotel, North Korea. The 105-story shell of the RYUGYONG Hotel, which is unfinished, unoccupied, and unopened, mars Pyongyang's skyline and North Korea's pride. The hotel's construction started in 1987 but was abandoned after 5 years due to a lack of funding. This abandoned hotel was formerly proudly shown on North Korean postage stamps, but it quickly disappeared from official photographs. Despite being abandoned for almost 2 decades, work on the hotel resumed in 2008, but it is uncertain when it will be finished. 7. San Juan Parangaricutiro, Mexico. This church tower is all that is left of the Mexican community of San Juan Parangaricutiro, which was completely destroyed by lava and ash. A black veil of molten rock and ash covered all indications of life as the Paracutan volcano steadily swallowed homes, neighborhoods, and ways of life starting in 1943. Today, visitors lured to this remote ruin can awe at the altar inside, which is still intact but empty. 6. KALYAZIN, Russia. The bell tower of the submerged St. Nicholas Church stands proudly 75 meters above the water's surface, marking the location of the former Russian town of KALYAZIN. The village was intentionally inundated, and the landscape was irreversibly changed when the Uglich Reservoir was built in 1939. Visitors arriving on boats can explore this surviving relic of the submerged town, drawn to the belfry's simple beauty. 5. ZKP Tagansky, Moscow, Russia. ZKP Tagansky, a 7,000 square meter area that originally served as a covert Cold War communications center, is located 60 meters below the streets of Moscow. This enormous facility, constructed in the 1950s, was built to resist a direct nuclear assault and was stocked with enough supplies to continue operating for several months afterward. Since it was declassified in 1995, Bunker 42 has attracted a large number of tourists eager to learn more about its mysterious past. 4. PRESIDIO Modelo, Cuba. This model prison, which has been abandoned since 1967, nonetheless exudes hopelessness and dread. Its unpleasant architecture, which took inspiration from the Panopticon model and was commissioned in 1926 by the dictator Gerardo Machado, was intended to convey a sensation of ongoing, covert surveillance. Despite the fact that Fidel Castro was previously a prisoner here, the prison's population grew to over 6,000 enemies of the state during the Castro regime. Visitors to the museum today can still feel the ominous mood in these echoing halls and empty cells. 3. Winchester Mystery House, California, USA. This eccentric and opulent Victorian estate in California is a labyrinth of dead ends, hidden doors, and staircases that go nowhere. Sarah Winchester, the widow of gun tycoon William Wirt Winchester, started construction in 1884 and made it a point to never stop, motivated by superstition and paranoia. The house grew into a 7-story maze of unusual architectural features in the 38 years before her death. The home is open to guests who can see the 160 rooms that survived the 1906 earthquake, despite the fact that it was damaged. 2. Lee Plaza Hotel, Detroit, USA. The once opulent Lee Plaza Hotel is now exposed and windowless. It is only one of the numerous abandoned locations in Detroit that symbolize the tragic collapse of a significant American city. Detroit once served as the epicenter of a thriving automobile industry, but Detroit's early affluence was eroded by a series of economic downturns, foreign competition, and racial rioting. A startling 60% of the city's peak population has since left, leaving behind a tangible illustration of urban blight. 1. Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, USA. From 1829, this Philadelphia facility, which had opulent architecture, contemporary luxuries, and notorious inmates like Al Capone, held the title of being the most expensive prison in the world. One of the first prisons ever constructed, it blended striking architecture with stringent rules to encourage repentance and reform in the minds of prisoners. The complex, which was shut down in 1971 and has since degenerated into a mass of crumbling cell blocks, is now recognized as a National Historic Landmark. Visitors are welcome at Eastern State Penitentiary all year round. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up.